Hey, what's up for Life Without Pants here with another Path of Exile video, and today's video we're going to talk about how to get to red maps fast. And I've got here, this is a SSF run. I got my, we're doing our lightning arrow artillery ballista, the guides out for that. And I've recorded this in the past, but if we do our /played here, 9 hours, 22 minutes and 29 seconds. I spent some time AFK. And if we look at our atlas, I've got the fungal hollow done, and that is this is the 321 tree, but the strategy applies to basically all maps and every league that's going to happen probably. So the way I make sure that I get to maps very quickly is, let's take a look at Pee-wee Planner here. This is the 321 atlas, and there's a few things that have changed. None of them really impact the strategy. So the first few atlas missions I get, or the atlas points I get, I just wander around here. And we go around the Jun wheel here, we go straight up here, and then I take this wheel here, the Shaping the Skies wheel. Now in 322, this is over here, so instead of doing this, taking these ones, you'd come up here, and I think it's like here or something like that. We haven't got the full atlas yet at the time of recording, but then I'll go up here, and I will come down to this point. And these nodes here, these 2% chance for one monster in each of your maps to drop an additional connected map, these are pretty strong because you can get these to 100% pretty easily. Now, obviously, for every map that you run, for the white maps, then you only need to, the bonus is kill a boss of a magic or higher version of this map. So if you can do them at higher rarity, if you can do them rare, then do so, because it's going to drop you more maps. It's simply going to drop you more maps. So once you've got a few points like this, then at this point I usually find that I've actually run out of naturally dropped maps and I need to find some more. And for that we got Commander Kirac. So if you go over to Commander Kirac and you can hold down Alt, I use the left Alt here, and he's got this shop full of maps, and use chance orbs. This is why we always save our chance orbs. We always go back for them even in the campaign. And you can hold down Alt and just go, oh look, there's one. Port, I haven't done that one yet, so I can buy that. Forbidden Woods, I haven't done that one. Cold River. So he's got a bunch of these different maps, and he's got sometimes he'll have some divination cards as well. A lot of the early Shaper maps come from the div cards in here, because there's some Shaper. There's some div cards which give Shaper maps. And so you can go run these, and then you'll probably find a few more maps, and you'll probably get up to, maybe you could go this way, but I always go straight up towards Wandering Path. And this, it only takes us 20 points to get here. So that's I think it's like all of the tier 1, 2, and 3, I think, is enough for 20. There's 4 here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here, so that's 12, and then here. So with all the tier 3 maps done, you could get to Wandering Path. Usually I'm around tier 5 at this point, because there's ones I'm missing here. And once you got to Wandering Path, this becomes incredibly easy, because it's 100% increased effect of small atlas passive skills. So now if we maybe I'll make this a bit smaller so we can see. But our 28% chance for one monster in each of your maps to drop an additional connected map, that's 28% with Wandering Path and only 14% without it. So it's a 1 in 4 if you're full clearing your maps. I don't always full clear my maps. I'll try to get under 50, but I won't backtrack a lot. So I try to clear out as much as I can during the map, because then I get an additional connected map, and those maps, they really add up. Now, at this point, obviously you want to take Shaping the Skies off, because it grants nothing now. And again, this is moved over here for 322, and normally I would go up this way, because then we're increasing the percent chance for an additional connected map to 52%, and then I'll take these 2 nodes here, and then I will try and increase the likelihood of getting the additional connected map to up to 100%. And for that, I always take these nodes here where you can block stuff off, because I know I'm going to be blocking stuff pretty much. This is a really great strategy to rush your atlas pretty darn quick. I will also go for these ones as well, and then we get all these extra map, percent chance for maps to drop higher. So it's an 80% chance for our maps to drop 1 tier higher. And then I'll also take these nodes here, and I think this brings us to somewhere around 70% or 80% chance. And then we can take the ones in the middle, and that brings us to 96. And then you can take one extra wherever you fancy. And usually, I'm strongly considering Legion as a league starter, or maybe Essence Beasts. I'm not sure yet. So I'll usually take this one when I'm doing the SSF stuff, because Legion drops a ton of maps, so you can get a lot of maps that way. Now now we've got a 100% chance for one monster in each of our maps to drop an additional connected map. So if we full clear every map we run, we guaranteed drop another map. And if you run out of maps, all the ones you've got are done, go over to Kirac, you take any of the ones out of here that you haven't done yet, run those, and if you still run out as well, then come here and you've got the Kirac Missions. Now, if I mouse over these, I think I've done most of these. Obviously, I won't have done all of these because I've only done one red map. But Kirac Missions are great for filling in some spots. You have additionally these... oh no, this is a singular scouting report. I'm not sure if I dropped an explorer scouting report in this run. Oh yeah, I got 3 of them. This is just a, we're I think level 83. So with an explorer scouting report, I can come over to Kirac, and currently I don't have any of these not complete, but if I use my explorer scouting report, now I've got death and taxes, I could run that, but then look at all these incomplete maps. Oh, there's so many of them. So it's a really, really easy way to fill out your atlas. And once you open one of these, I'm just going to open one of these now. So let's just open this waste pool one. You see here, Kirac's got the Lost Worlds. When the portals appear, so I just got here just in the nick of time, just before they did, his shop the inventory will refresh. So if we go now, then there's no div card there. But also there's a bunch of new maps. So, there's a Crimson Temple one we haven't got, an Overgrown Ruin, we've got Cells, we've got Frozen Cabins. There's loads and loads and loads that you can get in Kirac's shop. And the last way, I think, well, there's 2 other ways. This is one that I use a lot when I'm leveling, is 3 to 1. So you can 3 to 1 any map that's tier 1 to 15. So you just go over to Lily and I need that one. And you can just give her, say, these 3 Infested Valley maps, and we get a Moon Temple map. So these are all tier 3. And the one we get is 1 tier higher. So it's a really, really good way to guarantee that you get a bump up in your maps. If you've done Infested Valley, the likelihood is this is just going to sit in your stash until, I don't know, the end of the league. So I always trade them up, even when there's nothing, even when I've done this one as well, because then this Moon Temple I might get 2 others, and I can trade that one up, and I get a level 5 one. There is also, if you have a 4th one, then you can take this one out and put the 4th one in, and you'll probably get a different result. You'll probably get a different Moon Temple. I can't. Let's actually just go and show you this in the regular Crucible League. So each map essentially has the opportunity to give you slightly different outcomes. So if we go over to this stash here, I've got some maps. I've got 181 of these. We've got a lot of lighthouse maps. So we'll take all these lighthouse maps, and then we'll come over to Hargan and we'll sell him some of these. And so if we take these 3, it's a residence. So we've got 3 level 4 lighthouse maps, and we get a residence back. But if I take this one out and put a different one in, it's an atoll now. If I take this one out and put a different one in, it's a plateau. If I take the middle one out and put this one in, it's mineral pools. If I take the top one out and put this one in, it's arcade. So if you have more than just 3, then this is a really, really good way of figuring out exactly which, filling out a gap in your atlas. Obviously, if you can run them corrupted, then do so. But Val Orbs are just so expensive at League launch. I never ever have enough at all, and I'm always hungering for Val Orbs. So this for me is a really, really good way of getting through your atlas as quickly as possible, dropping as much, and it's just 46 points for 100% chance. And this is, you're completely in map sustain at this point, because if you clear all your maps, you'll definitely get another map. Now, will it be as good a map? Maybe not. You might be in tier 7s and constantly getting tier 6 drops, because that can happen on the Atlas. Because if you're in, I don't know, say tier 6 waste pool, you can constantly be getting plateau maps because they're connected. It's not foolproof to guarantee that you bump up. And of course, the last option that you have available to you is the Chance Orb. Not the Chance Orb, sorry, the Orb of Horizons. You could also use Harbingers, but I think those are really useful for getting the unique Harbinger maps. But there are natural tiers for these maps. Every league I put out a little cheat sheet, and I can use. I'm not sure if I've got it running. I'm just going to start up these tools, and I think Awaken PoE trade. So Horizon orbs only roll into their natural tiers. So if we look at this is just a mouse over thing I've got. We can see that, say, the one on the far left, the tier 1 is Bone Crypt, Scriptorium, Alleyways, and Colonnade. And that means that any of those maps can only roll into, any tier 1 map can only roll into those. Now, obviously, on your Atlas, a tier 1 Alleyways map, if I put in 3 of my Watchstones, then Alleyways is now tier 12. So if I had a tier 12 Alleyways map, then on our cheat sheet we can see here, it can, you go into the level 12 column, it can only roll into Museum, Necropolis, Desert Spring, Conservatory, Jungle Valley, and Wharf. Now, I'll have one of these out. I'll put a link in the description below for this cheat sheet because it's super helpful. It really, really helped me. But if I'm, say, I don't know, I've got one of my tier 15 maps is missing, say, Core, and I've got a bunch of Underground River or Tropical Islands, then I can just go into my map stash and take any of these. Say I've got some Tropical Island maps. Oh, where's my Tropical Island maps gone? Oh, that's tier 16. So if I take a tier 16 map, tier 15 map, tier 15 Tropical Island, then I know that it can only roll into Underground River, Tropical Island, Colosseum, Core, or Racecourse by using these Orb of Horizons. And if we do that, so I got Core on the first one, it's pretty lucky, but then we can go into Racecourse, Tropical Island, Core again. And this is true for all maps that are regular maps, so all non-unique. It doesn't work for unique maps. It also works for the Shaper Guardian maps, so that's Maze of the Minotaur, Forge of the Phoenix, Air of the Hydra, Pit of the Chimera. So if we get one of those, I think here, so if we get this Forge of the Phoenix map and we use an Orb of Horizons on it, then it will switch into the other types of Guardian. This does not work for Elder Guardians or for Conqueror Guardians. So if we take this and we reroll this Temple, it just goes into a different tier 14 map. It will not change the type of occupier that it has. It's always going to be the Enslaver, and the same is true for this Arsenal map. It's always going to be just Drox's Citadel. It's just going to be a different tier 16 map. So that's it for this video. Map sustain in Path of Exile used to be a huge thing. It's much less of a thing now. We've got many, many more tools to deal with it. Just this alone is really good because it sets you up for... You can get to tier 16 maps with this. I usually start branching off and going, oh, I'm maybe going to do some Legion this league. I'm always going to be doing Legion. So I go over here and start taking these nodes. And these are, some of these nodes are really good as well because you got 8% chance per node of these to get an extra Legion in your map. So some of the league mechanics are really, really strong with Wandering Path. Obviously, the notables do nothing. So bear that in mind. But yeah, map sustain, pretty easy. These nodes are different in 322. So I will put a link down to PoE Planner 322 down there. So let me know about what you think about this strategy in the comments. This is a pretty common strategy when you're racing to go do like Exarch or Eta. I think it's really... Once I started doing this, man, it was a breeze. It was so much easier. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you had a great league launch. I hope you are kind to everyone you meet. I love you all very much, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.